Hey, it's Tuxedo Mark. It's 4:34 p.m. on Tuesday, November 9, 2021. I'm going to do a review of Burger King's Spicy Chicken and the Ghost Pepper Nuggets. I don't remember if I had either of these before. Might have, might not, but I don't remember. And I was gonna eat them directly in front of the camera. Um, so you can get my first impressions. But once I got there, I was kind of hungry, and I just decided to eat it there. Um, I'll get to that in a bit. First, though, as I said, I had my driver apps running, and while I was on my way to the city north of me to go to Burger King, um, I got a Grubhub delivery, and it was in the same city. So I'm like, okay, I think I pulled over on the into a plaza or something, and I accepted it. Um, with Grubhub, I had to get out my GPS to find the place, so I plugged it in, typed in the address. It turned out to be like this, not even a restaurant, really. It was like a stand, um, or something like that. Um, no parking, so specific, in fact, the parking lot, even though there were cars parked in there were cones in front of it, and it said like no parking. Please park across the street. Okay, there weren't really there were only a few parking spots available across the street, so I just parked on grass on the side of the road. So I walked over to this stand, and the area was kind of roped off, and a woman sitting at a table. I guess she owned the place. Um, she asked why I was there, and I said Grubhub, and um, she gave me the bag. Okay, so I went back to my car. I typed in the address for the customer. I started heading there, and then it told me that I was arriving, but the problem was I was on the highway, and there was like no residential areas. These were all businesses. So I pulled into a plaza. I read some of the address numbers on the building. It was widely apart from the address number that was given to me in the app. So I opened up Google Maps on my phone, and I typed in the address, and it actually told me what it was. It was another restaurant. Uh, I'll talk more about that later. But it did say that was like zero point 0.1 miles behind me, or like 400 feet or something like that. Okay, so I knew about this restaurant, never been in there, but so I had to go onto the highway, make a U turn, and go into a parking lot of this restaurant. So it told me that I arrived. Actually, it kept telling me to go east, even though I was in the parking lot. So I just kept going as long as the phone told me to go, and eventually it told me that I arrived. Okay, thank you very much. Um, didn't know what to do. I mean, I've never delivered to a restaurant before. So I went in up to the counter, and the hostess or whoever said, it's a DoorDash. And I'm like, well, it's Grubhub. And I gave the name, and she's like, okay, I'll give it to him. Okay. So I completed the order, and Okay. The, the funny thing is, well, first of all, it's really funny that you would be at one restaurant and order food from another restaurant to have delivered to you at the restaurant that you're currently at. I wonder if it's an employee. That would be really funny. Or if it's just a customer, which would also be funny if you think about it. Hey, Random Cactus, thanks for joining me. Either way, it would be funny. But what makes it even funnier is both restaurants basically serve the same type of food, from what I could tell. It was like smoked meats, basically. Uh, so yeah, that was weird. So I went back to my car. Couldn't get online with Ether app. It's like, what's going on? So I look and I see the LTE has an expired. I'm like, am I out of minute or not minutes, but out of data? I mean, that doesn't seem possible because in addition to buying the standard card for 90 days that gives you everything, I also bought a separate card for like a gig of data or something like that. And there was no way that it would have been drained so far or so fast. Once I went to Burger King to get my lunch, the LTE was back on. So it's like, okay, I was just in a weird spot where I was getting no reception or something. I don't know. Anyway, so at Burger King, I asked about the free chicken sandwich. She had to get her manager. Her manager said, you have to order it through the mobile app. And then if it doesn't go through or something, they can't override it. There's nothing that they can do about it. So I just decided not bother with that. I ordered the sandwich anyway. She asked if I wanted to make it a meal, but unfortunately the ghost pepper nuggets can't be included as part of a meal. So I had to order each thing separately. I ordered the spicy chicken and the ghost pepper nuggets and a large Coke. And I just sat there and ate it. And here's what I think. First, I tried the chicken nuggets, and they were pretty spicy, kind of. I mean, not spicy by my standards, but they had some decent heat to them. I thought ghost peppers were supposed to be like really spicy, but this wasn't really spicy. It was just spicy for the average person. Then I had the she gave me 2 packets of buffalo sauce. So I used one for nuggets, didn't finish it. So when I tried the spicy chicken, first I tried it. Okay, with the ghost pepper nuggets, I ate one to judge the heat before I started using the buffalo sauce. With the chicken, I took a few bites off the edges to try to gauge the heat as well, and it didn't taste really spicy. I think the ghost pepper nuggets actually were spicier. But then I poured the rest of my buffalo sauce onto the sandwich, and it was fine. Somewhat spicy chicken sandwich. It wasn't like mind blowing or anything, but then I had the Coke and I took the other buffalo packet home with me along with some napkins. So that was that. And after I left Burger King, I turned the apps back on. And as I was getting close to home, I got an Uber Eats delivery for Taco Bell, the one in my town, which I had just passed on the way home. So I just made a U-turn, went back there, picked it up. And it was to a residential community that I already delivered to once or twice already. a bit south of my house. I'm familiar with it because it's where my aunt and uncle used to live. My dad's brother and his wife, they lived there from the 80s till basically around sometime in the 90s, I think. Both of them are dead now. But so we went over there very often. So, but the thing is, I really had to rely on the instructions um, from the GPS within the Uber Eats app because driving in a residential community like that can be so confusing. There are a lot of twisting, winding roads, and a lot of the streets have the same name, differentiated only by direction or by what type of street that is. Like the street that I was supposed to deliver on had drive at the end of it. I arrived at a street with the name, but had street after it. So that wasn't it. I had to go a bit further and was the one with drive after it. So it's like, why couldn't they pick different street names? I mean, I don't know. But I delivered it, said to leave it at the front door, don't ring the bell. So fine, I took a picture of it and sent it, and yeah. And that was my last delivery so far. I came home and I haven't gotten any since. I'll keep the app on for a while longer just to see if, or the apps, both of them, I should say, for a while longer until like a while before it gets dark, which I guess would be around 6, just to see if anything else comes in. But I made some decent money today. I should make a spreadsheet of all of my earnings and compare it to what I make in my actual job and see what percent of my income comes from doing food deliveries. That should be a fun experiment. Yeah, so that's that. Probably just going to work on my Buffy fanfic for the rest of the evening and then watch some TV. I should finish up like season 3 of Star Trek Discovery before season 4 premieres. Finish up season 2 of Star Trek Lower Decks, I guess. Yeah, it is kind of profitable. Generally speaking, if you adjusted it for an hourly rate, like if you took what you earn per delivery, divided by your driving time, and then multiplied by 60, you'll find out what that would come out to as an hourly rate. And generally speaking, it's more than I make at my real job. Except there's not much of them. I had a handful of deliveries today, which made it. This was my busiest day ever, and it's like the back-to-back Grubhub and Uber Eats orders this morning was literally the busiest that I had ever been at any one time. But it's not enough to equal what I would make at my real job from a full shift. So, yeah, it's decent money to have on the side, and I'm just having it direct deposited into like a third bank account. I've got a checking account that my money from my real job is deposited into, and that's what's used to pay off my credit card every month. So that's the money that I spend. And also, every so often, if that account gets too high, I transfer some of the money to my savings account at another bank, and I don't touch that at all. It just sits. and makes like some change per month just from sitting there, but that's not much. But I have a decent amount of savings, and I just don't touch it. Just leave it alone. um, with this third bank account, it's one that I had set up way back in the day, maybe around 2012. I don't remember. For YouTube, for my earnings from YouTube. That's back when my account was monetized. But then they changed the requirements. I didn't have enough subscribers or enough watch hours, so they said I was no longer eligible. And I was just like a few cents short from the $100 payment threshold. And I thought I had completely lost that money. Like they weren't going to give it to me. But last year I got a letter saying, hey, there's this money that's sitting here. Do you want to claim it? I'm like, yeah. So they deposited it into my account. I'm not monetized on YouTube anymore, obviously, not unless I can get a bunch more eyeballs on my videos. I'm way below the. I've got more than enough subscribers. I just don't have the viewing hours. Need like 4,000 viewing hours per year. But I also use this third account to get royalty payments from like my ebooks on Amazon, but that's very infrequent. So then I decided to use the same account for Uber Eats and Grubhub. So those are going to be like weekly deposits into that account. I'm not going to touch that money either. It's just going to be extra money to have in case I need it someday. When it comes to spending anything, it's just the money from my main checking account, which is what I earn at my real job. I just charge everything on my credit card because I usually get cash back on it anyway from each purchase. I then just pay off the bill in full every month. I have a 100% on time rate for paying off my credit card bill, so that really helps boost my credit score. You see, I'm not sure. I can't really answer that question. I don't know how they calculate all of that stuff. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for today. If I like past 8 o'clock, I think, because generally speaking, I like to put up a new chapter of my fanfics before 8 p.m. And here's why. On AO3, for some reason, I don't know if it's just not set to my time zone or what, but if I post a chapter before 8 p.m., it'll be the correct date. It'll list the correct date. If I post it after 8 p.m., it'll list tomorrow's date. Now, I can change the date of the posting before I post the chapter, and it'll have it listed under the correct date. But when you do that, your fic isn't at the top of the category. It's gonna be like further down the list, somewhere in the previous, or like somewhere at the beginning of the current day or something like that. It's gonna be way down the list. So if I don't finish a chapter by 8 p.m., I just hold off until like past midnight, and then I'll just post it. I might take a break from working on the fic for a while, do something else, come back, do spell checks, the read through, final read through, and then post it after midnight. So that's one thing that I learned about AO3. I don't know if it's just my settings or what. I might have to look into that. But yeah, I've got a weekly ongoing Buffy the Vampire Slayer fanfic that's basically going to be a rewrite of the entire TV series, like pretty much every episode. And I'm in season 2 right now. I'm about to introduce Spike. So, I guess that's it for now. If I don't get my Buffy fic done by 8, I'll probably take a break, and I might do a gaming stream over on Twitch. Either Ghostline or maybe Tetris, or maybe I'll start up Dragon Warrior or Final Fantasy. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me. And it's 4:55 p.m. and that's it. Thanks for watching.